Now, every great story has to come to an end, but I didn't expect the end to be this punishing. Assassin's Creed Revelations is where Ezio Auditore's story is coming to an end, Desmond is trapped deeper than ever, and somehow Ubisoft decided the perfect way to celebrate that was by stuffing this game with some of the strangest trophies in the series. We've survived Assassin's Creed 2, we've barely survived Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, but now it's time to head to Constantinople and take on the final chapter of the Ezio trilogy in my mission to platinum every single Assassin's Creed game. And honestly, Revelations feels different. This isn't just another Assassin's Creed game about revenge or rebuilding the Brotherhood. This is about endings. Ezio is searching for answers, Altair's story is finally coming full circle, and me slowly losing my sanity learning whatever the hell these tower defense sections are supposed to be. There are missable trophies, brutal optional objectives, and enough collectible grinding to make me question why I started this challenge in the first place again. But after Brotherhood, there is no way I'm quitting now. So today we climb back into the Animus and once again find out one thing. Does Assassin's Creed Revelations deliver the perfect ending or become the platinum that finally breaks me? Ezio Auditore's final chapter in Assassin's Creed Revelations starts with him traveling to Masyaf, searching for the secret library left behind by Altair. Ezio believes the library contains knowledge powerful enough to finally explain the purpose of the assassins and the pieces of Eden. Of course, things go immediately wrong when the Templars attack Masyaf, forcing Ezio into one of the most cinematic openings in the series. After escaping execution by the skin of his teeth, Ezio discovers that the library can only be opened with 5 special keys scattered throughout Constantinople. That sets up the main structure of the story, hunting down the keys while battling the Byzantine Templars for control of the city. Constantinople itself is honestly my favourite setting of the Ezio trilogy. The city is split between political tension, criminal factions, and ongoing assassin Templar fights, all while Ezio slowly realises he's getting that little bit older and starting to question how much longer he can keep doing this. This is also where the Brotherhood system really comes into play. While rebuilding the assassins present across the city, I ended up unlocking my protege after training one of my recruits all the way up to Master Assassin rank. Oh, trophy, my protege. I've one trainee reached the rank of Master Assassin. Nice, nice, nice. Oh, and another one. Complete DNA sequence 3. We love it. We love trophies. Honestly, getting attached to these trainees and sending them off made the Brotherhood mechanic feel a little bit more meaningful than it did back in Brotherhood. At the same time, I was constantly clearing dens, defending territory, sending assassins across Europe with the Mediterranean defense missions. That grind eventually paid off with Armchair General, which requires controlling every city in the Mediterranean at the same time, except Rhodes. Definitely one of the trophies that sounds the simple until you realize how much management it takes and you end up playing this side game more than the actual story. As Ezio collects each of the Masyaf keys, the game shifts into playable memories of Altair, and this is where Revelations really separates itself from the rest of the series. Instead of just hearing about Altair, we actually see the rest of his life unfold like a kind of a sequel to the original Assassin's Creed game, which to me, I really love Altair. He's the OG. We watch him become a mentor for the assassins after the events of the first game, struggle with betrayal inside his own Brotherhood, lose people close to him, and eventually dedicate his entire life to protecting the Apple of Eden from corruption. The older Altair sections honestly carry a lot more emotional weight because you're seeing the consequences of a lifetime spent fighting and protecting the Apple. Meanwhile, back in Constantinople, Ezio grows closer to Sofia Sato. It's a nice contrast to all the chaos surrounding the Assassins and Templars when you run into her. The main antagonist, Prince Ahmet, slowly reveals himself as the true leader of the Byzantine conspiracy. Unlike a lot of Assassin's Creed villains, Ahmet isn't just chasing power for the sake of it. He genuinely believes control is the only way to create peace. That ideological clash between freedom and order is basically the core theme of the entire series, and it circles back around to it. Of course, because this was a platinum run, there was a lot of collateral damage along the way. Somewhere during all the rooftop assassinations and stealth kills, I unlocked Overkiller for assassinating 50 guards with the hidden blade. Oh, trophy? Overkiller. Progression through the story also meant completing all 9 of the DNA sequences, which forms the backbone of the Platinum. And honestly, the ending is still, to me, one of the best in the Assassin's Creed franchise. When Ezio finally gets the 5 keys and opens the library, there's no giant treasure waiting inside, it's just Altair's skeleton and the Apple of Eden. Altair sealed himself away centuries earlier to ensure the artifact stayed hidden. Ezio realizes that the message was never meant for him at all, it was meant for Desmond. Instead of speaking to gods or kings, Ezio directly addresses Desmond miles across time, acknowledging that he's just a conduit in something far bigger than himself. It's the perfect ending for Ezio because after 3 games, he finally stops searching for answers and just accepts his role in all of this. And honestly, for the Platinum run, Revelation feels fittingly reflective. It's not just about clearing icons and grinding trophies, it's about closing the book on 2 assassins who gave everything. With the story out of the way, the grind for the Platinum kind of starts now. When I say grind, I mean it. Now, some of these trophies made me realize I really need to pay attention to the list, as a lot of these are designed to be chipped away at over your playthrough of the story, and if I'd realized, I would have put myself in a much better position than I had. The first things to tackle were the story trophies that I missed, that being Bully for beating up Claudia's ex-boyfriend from all the way back in Assassin's Creed 2. I learned my lesson from the previous 2 games, and I only needed to replay 1 or 2 memories for the trophy fond memories you get for completing 100% sync on all missions. Now, an Assassin's Creed game wouldn't be an Assassin's Creed game without collectibles. With each iteration, though, they have made it a little easier, which I do appreciate. The main collectibles in this edition are data fragments. Once you've collected 25 of them, it opens up a bookstore which allows you to buy a book with the location of memoir pages, and there's only 10. Once you have them, you get the trophy worth 1,000 words for collecting them all. And then once you reach 50 data fragments, it actually shows you the location of the other 50 across the map, so you can get the trophy cap. Collecting all the data fragments also unlocks a couple of missions, one of them in the Hagia Sophia, where upon completion you get the trophy Holy Wisdom, and while you're there you might as well pick up Spider Assassin, which has you climbing to the top of the building in under 25 seconds. The other is the Desmond missions. Throughout Revelations, Desmond is in a coma after Juno takes control and kills Lucy, but he's not sort of in a coma, he is in some sort of animus limbo with Subject 16. After hitting certain milestones, you unlock each of the 5 levels, so you go through them. These are like first person sections. Honestly, they are the worst part of the game, where you need to sort of traverse through the animus, and it also gives you sort of background history of Desmond and his father and his family, and then completing each of the 5 gives you a trophy for each of them. Now, the Ezio trilogy is obviously a remaster, and it bundles all of the DLCs in each of the games, and Revelations is no different. Instead of having multiplayer trophies, we now have the DLC that comprise the Platinum. So the Lost Archive concentrates on Subject 16 and is again a first-person section, just like the Desmond missions. Through it, you learn that Desmond's father asked Subject 16 to infiltrate Abstergo and learn what he can. While working through, we learn why Juno used Desmond to kill Lucy. She was actually a double agent and was actually working for Templars all along. The trophies around that are for completing each section, and then there is one for collecting 20 fragments. There are 2 quite difficult trophies in this for completing sections without taking any damage, which are completely unnecessary. I'd rather do them than the multiplayer trophies that were in the original. One of the new additions in the game is a mini defense game, which can be completely missed if you want to, but in order for the Platinum, you need to complete at least one of these without using cannons. You essentially put assassins on rooftops and stop enemies attacking a base by going through a street, and you just keep taking them out until you reach the last section, which is a massive ramp. Now, the cannons can be used in order to get rid of that a lot quicker, but obviously you need to not use it, and completing that gets you the trophy Iron Curtain. And pretty much all that's left are the random trophies for doing specific things across the map. We have Pyromaniac for completing all the bomb missions. I Can See You is for killing 5 enemies within a smoke cloud. We then have Mousetrap for pulling scaffolding onto 5 enemies stuck with a caltrop bomb. Monsters Dance for poisoning an enemy and have them attack 3 civilians. Fast Fingers is for looting 50 bodies using the Thieves. Silent but Deadly is for using throwing knives to take out 3 enemies enemies with one throw. We have almost flying for using a parachute from Galata Tower to the Golden Horn. We have mosh pit for poisoning 10 enemies all at the same time. Lightning strike for defeating 5 enemies within 5 seconds. And show off for parachuting and then landing onto a zipline. Now, an Assassin's Creed game wouldn't be complete without buggy trophies. One of them is tax evasion, which is a random spawn and you have to take them out to get your money back. Problem is, throughout the whole time I played the story, I never seen them once. And from a bit of research, what you have to do is you need to go to a specific area of the map and keep running in and out of a gate in order to get everything to respawn, in order for a chance to spawn. And after about half an hour, 45 minutes of just running around doing nothing, it finally hit. And that wasn't the only thing that chewed up way more time than it should have, and that is the mentor for having 7 recruits reach Master Assassin, which is a lot. And I mean a lot of Mediterranean defense missions, which are all time gated. So then you have to get them all to a certain level. Once you reach the certain level, you have to make them the head of a assassin base. Then once they're a bit ahead of the assassin base, you then need to level them up even more. Once you've leveled them up to the max rank, you then need to do 7 2-part missions to get each of them to the rank of master. And if you thought that took up a lot of time, what took up even more time is the trophy sage for getting all of the books. Now, some of these are littered across the map like collectibles. There's like a little mini game where you use your eagle vision and you dig it up. But the rest are purchased, and some of them are expensive. Now, to buy all of the books, you need to total around 400,000 of the currency. But because I didn't unlock all of the stores until the post game, I didn't have a lot saved. So I was earning about 20,000 of the currency every 20 minutes. So you can imagine how much standing around and waiting I had to do in order to get the money needed, especially when the only other way to get money is robbing civilians and you get about 5 or 10 at a time. But in the end, we finally got it. And with all the trophies unlocked besides one, I always leave one nice and easy to last, just to make sure that the platinum doesn't pop and I don't realize. And Craft Maniac is for crafting 30 bombs. Nice and easy, or so I thought. The problem is, again, it is another bug trophy, and the game does not track the crafting of the bombs correctly. So after trying different bombs, different combinations, dismantling, crafting, doing all sorts of random attempts, it just popped. And I don't know how, but it did. And finally, the platinum popped as well. And there we have it, the Ezio trilogy of Assassin's Creed is complete. Since starting this, Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced has been announced, so thankfully we will not need to get those pesky multiplayer trophies on the original. Which means before we can tackle that, next up is Assassin's Creed 3. If you want to follow along with this journey, make sure you like, subscribe, click on the playlist to catch up with previous episodes, and until next time, I'll catch you at the next ping.